I want to change because I only live once. I don't want to live a life that other people dictate. Like, why would you? Why would your only life goal be to study that hard, get a good job, get a really big fat pay, and save enough to retire? Is that something you really want? Or is that something that other people want you to do? Doing something because I really want is scary, especially for myself. Because if I really want to live for myself, I have to take accountability for everything I do. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Today I'm going to talk about how I found my sense of identity and stopped living for others. This topic is something that I feel really strongly for because growing up in an Asian community, conformity was the norm. That means that when other people were doing certain things, it was kind of expected for me to just follow along and not question it. This applies to a lot of things, especially for the case of studying. Personally for me, I didn't really enjoy studying if you really ask me, but I just didn't question it. I thought I kind of liked studying because it felt really good that when I got good grades, I would get this kind of compliments from people. You know how like when you are the smartest kid in school and when you get like the top score for exams, people will be like, wow, you are so smart, like how did you do it? And sometimes even the principal will just publicly make announcements about how smart I was, and it was that kind of feeling that really propelled me forward. So every single time, exam after exams, I will be putting more and more efforts because I really want to maintain that kind of reputation from other people and do not want to lose face in front of my peers. And that was really harmful for me because I remember as a kid, there will be days where I study from like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week without even taking certain sort of rest, just because I think other people would like it and it felt good to be approved by others. That lasted for the first 18 or 19 years of my life, and everything was going alright until the first year of university. I think the first year of university was really the breaking point for me. So for some context, I didn't come from like a well-to-do family, but I did get a really good high school result. So I managed to get like a pretty decent sum of scholarship, but it was not a full scholarship. I really wanted to get a full scholarship during the first year of my university to ease the financial burden of my parents, so I studied really hard. Like hard to the extent where... Oh, this is so hard. Why are you so hard? You guys so dirty. So I remember putting down most of the events and just focusing 100% on studying. Like I did literally every single thing that was possible to allow me to get the extra mark. So for example, I would form study groups from people from different kind of classes. I would go on Google Scholar and flip through 1,000 pages of like research essays just to find out the key principles and try to write the most impressive essay. And in the end, I did pretty well actually, to be honest. Like I remember like there were like 3 or 4 of my units getting like 96 out of 100, which was like insane. And I was getting a lot of approval from people. And so at the end of first year, I wrote to my university and asked them to give me a full scholarship. And unfortunately, all I heard back was, there was nothing we could do to increase our scholarship anymore. I was pretty shattered because like that was like the only thing I focused on for the first year, and I pretty much got the max of the max score humanly ever possible, and it was still not enough. And that made me realize that if we are constantly living for others, there will always be a never-ending list of things that we have to satisfy. And that is not something I want to do anymore because I want to live for myself so that I will not have to constantly worry about satisfying the wants of other people. This came as a very hard transition for me. So from year 2 of university onwards, I didn't put my 100% into studying anymore. Like I would find things that I actually start to enjoy doing myself. I think I'm a creative person because when I was in high school, I did art stream instead of the science stream, and I've been playing music over 10 years now. I really enjoyed the process of creating something instead of just purely following other people and the pathways of what has already been done. So that's why during mid of my year 2, I actually started creating and making YouTube videos where there are really endless possibilities. Like there is no one single right thing to do. And it's something that I really enjoyed myself because every single time I can see myself improving. And this pathway is not something that someone else walked before. Yeah, sure, people could have been making YouTube videos before, but no one exactly makes the kind of YouTube videos that I make. In the sense, I have a very unique sense of identity. And it's not something that I need to seek approval from other people anymore, because I could still be happy that I made a really good video, even if other people don't appreciate it, even if other people don't come up to me and say, hey, it's the best video that you've ever made so far. Or if it's a video that made their day, for example. Even though I would still care about it, but it's not something that I say I must have it. In comparison, say I was studying back then, if other people wasn't like boasting about my grades, if my parents didn't compliment me, if my teachers didn't compliment me, I would feel that sense of emptiness within me, and it's not something that I would be able to sustain about studying. So that is when I realized that studying was something that I was doing because I was living for others. So how do you know exactly if you're living for others? I think it's something that's pretty apparent to most of us. If you are living for other people, I feel like deep down you will be able to know. For example, if you are currently studying a course that you didn't really enjoy and you are just dreading going to class every single day, you'll be able to feel it. If you are currently working a corporate 9-to-5 job dealing with large corporations and dealing with billion-dollar transactions every single time behind the faceless companies, and it's not something that you enjoy, I think you will be able to know as well. Or if you feel a sense of emptiness within you and you just feel like days just repeat and there was no meaning to life and like you are just being labeled as a typical factory worker for the rest of your life, you will be able to know as well. So go with your gut feeling, and I feel like if you feel that you are not living for yourself, you probably aren't. And I want to say that it's alright if you feel that you are not living for yourself and just living for other people, because we live in a society where a certain sort of conformity is still expected of us. I'm not trying to say that you should be the most crazy version of yourself, that there should be no one else that's similar to you at all, but I'm just trying to encourage you here to find your sense of identity if you're currently stuck and feel that you are conformed to the norms of the society. So what are some of the best options that you could right now? I think one of the best things that you could do is to realize that you are currently in a position where you are living for other people. Write this down on a piece of journal or just say to yourself about what kind of situation you are in right now that you are not happy. For example, if you're not happy that you're constantly studying so much a day and keep going down this endless path that you don't see the end, or if you're currently just stuck in this corporate job that you are just not happy about it, just write this down, acknowledge it, and I think that's a very important first step to take. Then I want you to do this really important exercise with me. I want you to close your eyes, okay? Close your eyes. Don't cheat. Okay, I know you're cheating. Close your eyes. Alright, now imagine with me, how will you look like in 5 years' time? I want you to create this kind of really detailed picture. Imagine yourself what kind of lifestyle that you want to become. For example, for me, that could be being a YouTuber, filming every single where and not being restricted by time, place, or anyone else. For you, that could be anything. If you like to travel around, if there are certain sort of social issues that you're really passionate about, it could be any single thing. Alright, spend the next few moments just imagining how your life will be in the next 5 years. Okay, giving yourself 3 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Now, ask yourself this question. Will the things that you are doing right now lead to the goal that you have in 5 years' time? The answer is probably not. And that's alright, because change comes in small, little, tiny steps. What you need to do now is just to allow tiny little changes to happen bit by bit over time for the effects to compound. For me, how would this look like? I have to take certain sort of risk. For example, in the past, I always want to get the perfect score so that I get the maximum results, maximum grades, maximum social status. But right now, I have to take the risk. I have to take the risk of not putting like 200% into my assignment. Just putting enough efforts into my assignments and just put the rest of my energy into other things. That means that I must be happy that even if I get like a 70% of my assignment, 60% of my assignment, that's alright, because I've been putting energy into things that I truly care about right now. I'm still not in a position to drop out of school, and I do enjoy the school environment, to be honest, but it's just not something that I see myself doing, being like a corporate lawyer, or just getting into a job in the future. And the process of me filming more and more YouTube videos, or let's say another example, I want to bulk up and I want to become fit, and the process of me going to gym day after day, that would really help, and the effects will compound over time, and I would be able to achieve my goals. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in 1 year's time, 2 years time, and 5 years time down the road, I will be able to achieve those changes, and I will be able to stop living for others and do the things that I truly enjoy. Throughout this journey, you will get certain sort of hate comments or fear or criticism from other people. Like, for example, when I first started making YouTube videos, there were so many of my peers who were just looking down on me and giving me negative comments. I made a video about fare evasion in Melbourne, and people were like, this is so unprofessional. How can you criticize a society like this? Like, what happened to your reputation in the future? Like, these are all certain kind of things that are going to be valid. But you have to learn, especially if you're trying to find your own sense of identity, to really take these criticisms and be able to deal with the consequences. Because when you conform to societal norms, you could really push the blame and say how, other people were all doing this and it was the norm. It was the norm, so I wasn't doing anything that was extraordinary. But if you are, say for example, you are quitting out of school, you are dropping out of school, you're dropping out of your corporate jobs, you're going to deal with the consequences. And if you're able to deal with these consequences, you will be able to become the person that you truly want to be. So how can you deal with these consequences? Well, recognize that at the end of the day, you have this really big picture in mind. You don't just want to be a normal person, you want to be the person you truly become. And that means that the opinions of other people don't really matter at all, because I wouldn't really be too worried about my other academic law friend who just keeps making jokes on me, or what my neighbor would tell me, because after all, I know at the end of 5 years, I'm going to achieve my goals that they are not going to achieve. I can deal with my consequences. I don't have to worry about that. So dealing with consequences is something that's really important as well, and as long as you're able to deal with these consequences, you will be able to achieve those kind of changes that you want to achieve. It may be tempting, it may be very difficult to see a huge change in you, but just remember all those stories, every single person that you've seen so far, whether it's social media or in real life, you know that such extraordinary changes do exist, and it's the product of those small little actions that lead to those extraordinary changes. So, no goal is ever too big. I hope that you guys will one day become the person you truly want to be. With that, I hope you guys found this video relatable. Do remember to hit the like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!